but it goes on a little while. We have our Q&A session. It's live streamed. Is it being live streamed now? Excellent. So for those of you who are joining in from overseas, because there are many places in our world which do not have Buddhist centers, and we use the internet to live stream major events such as these, and people actually, they join in from lots and lots of different places throughout the world, including places like Syria and Aden, and places where it's almost impossible to have a Buddhist center. So it's wonderful for those of you tuning in from overseas just to see we've just had a magnificent gift of books, Buddhist arts, which detail some of the inspirational artworks which are either carved or painted, calligraphy, many, many different parts of the Buddhist world to show just how inspiring this Buddhist tradition can be. So anyway, that I'm not quite sure. You probably have your jobs to do this afternoon and other things. You're probably working very hard. But just to let people know from overseas that thank you so much for coming here and joining in together. We may be different races, types of Buddhism, but my little simile was the different types of Buddhism is you may have like Tibetan Buddhism or Mahayana Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism. It's all the same cake with different icing. So strawberry icing is Tibetan Buddhism. You see their robes, they're sort of dark red, maroon. Vanilla icing, that's usually the Zen monks because they are just all Zen. This is Theravada, we love chocolate, so that's dark chocolate, this is milk chocolate. Icing. And you're somewhere in between. Very good.
I think they would like to leave, but they just want to take a photo before.
Okay, so photo time. So please, yes, you're most welcome to do the photo op, and then just for those overseas, we just a few moments where we do the photo op, and then yeah. No, it's okay. We're just really easy going. Nothing is certain, so. Oh, really? Okay. Okay, welcome. See you again next time. Very good. Happy Vesak Day. Excellent. Two more nuns? Two your nuns?
Yeah, the afternoon session.
Okay. Oh, they'll be here soon. Yeah. It's one of the wonderful things sometimes about our traditional Buddhism. Sometimes we're never on time, which means we don't have stress, we relax. Sometimes it causes stress for other people. We're not here on time. But anyway, so we are now going to have a session. Here we always tend to have the monks and the nuns actually preaching, giving talks. And it's number one, it's very rare to have the monks and the nuns together on the same platform and to be able to have like questions. I know that I was looking at the news sites, they have like board meetings when you look at the board members and the shareholders ask some difficult questions. But now it's not so much difficult questions about the management, about the Dhamma. It's an opportunity now for you to actually to ask some questions about Buddhism or even just Buddhist art and the publication of it. Are you inspired by Buddhist art? And of course, I was telling one young person the other day that when I did manage to go to Borobudur, and just outside of Borobudur there was another temple called Vihara Mendut. And there it's just also very ancient. And there you can see the carving, one of the nicest carvings I ever saw, was the carving of the talkative tortoise. And that's, in the book of Open the Door of Your Heart. And if you don't know that story, I'm not going to do it now because it takes a bit of a while. But it's an ancient story, and it's carved there on the rocks. Maybe, was it 500-600 years old? And there you can actually see the two swans with a stick and a tortoise holding on into the middle, the flying tortoise. It's wonderful to see some of these stories which you say have got a long history. So Buddhist art is not always formal. Sometimes it tells interesting stories, and some of those old Jataka stories can be very humorous, but also very helpful for us. So anyway, who is going to ask the first question for this afternoon? So see where we can go with the questions. Yes, thank you.
Can you explain the Dhamma? What's the meaning of Dhamma? The truth of Dhamma?
The Dhamma. Now that is a very deep question. Sometimes that's a good explanation of that. This is technical, I hope you don't mind. They have two words like Dhamma, and they have its opposite. It's called atta, A-T-T-H-A in the Roman Pali. Now, you may have heard that, the Dhamma, and you also may have heard that from the Atta-gata, the commentaries. And it's also in the Pali, if they say offered me some water, they say, is this of atta for you? Is it of use and benefit for you? And the lovely meaning of that, I have to acknowledge Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi in one of his books, when he made this wonderful simile. We have the experience right now, and the Dhamma is where it's coming from, its source, its law, like the laws of science, the why, the cause. That's called the Dhamma. It's looking at phenomena and finding out where do they come from, why does this happen? Looking back to its origin. And the atta is taking this particular experience of now, where does it lead to? What's its consequence? Now, what happens afterwards? So those two words, the Dhamma, it's like the why, and the atta is what's the consequence of this? What happens afterwards? Where does this lead to? So those two words, for me, that made a huge difference in understanding what these things are. We look at phenomena and just, why does this happen? Where's it coming from? What's like the rules, the laws of nature, the causes, the science of the mind, the why? And that's where the Dhamma is, the cause, the origin, the source, the understanding why things happen, like the laws of science. The atta is the consequences, what happens afterwards. So you have the Dhamma, what the Buddha taught, explained, the causes of things. Once we know just the rules, the way that the world works, then we can actually understand where this is going to lead to. So, you become a monk or a nun. Where does that lead to? What's the purpose of this? The purpose, the outcome. That's the atta. The why. Where is this all coming from? That's the Dhamma. Make any sense? No? Okay.
Understand it, Dhamma is anatta.
Oh, that is some of the explanations, the characteristics of the Dhamma. So if you go to the source of things, you go to the origin, the why, the basic laws of life. Obviously one of those is the anicca, dukkha, anatta, and those laws of anicca. Again, it's not just impermanence, it's like uncertainty, irregular, sometimes that what you really thought was always there sometimes vanishes. It shocks you sometimes when you go deeper into the nature of things.